Oh,
And
so okay. Can you talk about the process of like passing the torch, of how your parents passed on the torch of responsibility to you?
So it's funny. My parents never said, okay, we're doing this business and you're going to be running it next.
And there's two businesses, right?
They did it in a very passive aggressive way.
Which is our way. This is the way.
The Filipino way, actually. That they never said to us, the only thing they said to us, you're going to go to finish education. You have to finish your education. After your education and you get married, you can do what you want. That's what they always said. Now, with the business, they never said, oh, we're having this business so you can do it. They never said that. I guess they just expected that to happen. But when they knew that when they knew that Ingrid and myself, we were like, we're never going to do this. We're never going to do this as kids. We were like, oh, we're never going to do this. We're going to do our own thing, So we both became lawyers. We both went and we worked so I went to the States. I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I did all of the things I wanted to do. So I did all of that. It was only when my parents decided that they were going to retire. Now, my mum, I always thought in my mind, this woman will just carry this on forever. Like, I never really took a thought that, oh, she's really going to give this up. Like, she's not going to do this. And she said, it's up to you. It was at a juncture when we just had Penny in the States. It was a time when I was having to step back from my job because I was pregnant. I couldn't physically go into work. But I knew that if I took that time off, because of the industry that I was in, it was so competitive. If I took that time off, the next youngest, brightest person on the block would be in. And I wouldn't be able to get back at the same level that I was at. I'd have to go somewhere else. So that was an eye-opener for me.
Which, in essence, I think she was a little wrong on that, because they ended up hiring 7 people to take over one job of hers. She was doing that much work at this company that they had to hire 7 people to replace her. So...
But at the time, the story goes, at the time, my mom was saying, she was retiring in the UK. She said,
I'm just talking about how hard a worker you are, is what I'm saying.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And then mom said, it's up to you guys what you want to do, but I'm going to sell. I've got a buyer here. She had a buyer for the care home, one of her colleagues. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what? Like, she's really good. If she really sells that, like, that's the inheritance right there. That'll be gone, and she worked so hard for that. And I didn't feel that point, I wasn't ready to just let that go. So we decided, let's just give it a shot. Let's see what would happen. And we're here in the UK at the moment. That's what we did. And but yeah, they never said, oh, at the very beginning, oh, we're gonna have this so you could do this. No, it was all, they just assumed. That's another trait of the Filipino. There's a whole bunch of assumption and passive aggressiveness that the child then just does it, in the end. But it makes sense. I realize, there's a lot of young people that want to have a business. There are a lot of young people that would give anything to start a business. And here I am with this business that I'm just going to just close my eyes and just give it up. Like, no, we're going to try it. We'll try it out.
What were you doing at that time before you took over?
I was working for a semiconductor company in Silicon Valley. It was in the trademark department. Yeah. Like doing trademark law, approving trademarks, getting trademarks approved, getting them registered, and then a lot of like promotions, like marketing promos, ad campaigns, doing that. It was really fun. SanDisk.
Really?
Yeah. They're bought by Western Digital now. They were bought by Western after I left. Right.
But they were the big shots, right?
They were really, really big.
Memories. That's what I'm using. Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Look at that SanDisk right there. Look at that.
Yay.
Yeah. And then when you open up that paper,
that piece of paper
that falls out.
That was me.
Her department with all that legal stuff.
All that legal crap that was on there. And we were always being challenged every single time by the marketing department to get rid of all the legal. So all this stuff. Marketeers don't want anything. They just want clean lines. They don't want any disclosures. They don't even want the little artic. They don't want any of that. So that was the tension. We were always working in the environment that, getting pushback from everyone. But it was just to keep everyone
You were a
legit.
paralegal?
Yeah, I was working as a paralegal. Yeah, I was because
and at the same time studying for the bar because she's a lawyer in England, but then you have to take the bar again when you come to the States.
Yeah. I wasn't Crazy. Successful. I failed multiple times. Actually, it was really, really tough. The California bar was. I wish I had more time because it's really an exam that you really need to like.
You need like 3 months at least minimum
to really
right?
just sit there and do it every day. But I was working at the same time, and it was
hard.
It was tough.
Wow. It was tough for you.
It was tough.
It was tough for you.
Yeah.
Actually, the statistic goes with like. I was reading somewhere, or like, especially with female lawyers, when it comes time to like have the baby, or around the 30s, that's when a lot of female lawyers leave the profession because they're gonna choose their families, or you go all in with the career, but then you don't have family.
You don't have family.
So then it's a hard thing when someone has both, because then. Sometimes there's a professional jealousy that happens in that whole thing. So
that's
but
the primary factor for the whole what's it called, the equal pay issue. That's the biggest factor. The fact that
because men don't have to go off. They never have to stop. They don't have to stop for 9 months.
Because like legally they're equally paid.
Absolutely.
There should be no instance of where a woman should be paid less. But taking into account of those factors wherein
they have
a lot
to take
of
off the time.
females not only taking the time off, but the fact that they sometimes do choose to leave the field. That's the reason why.
Well, in terms of the statistics and the numbers.
Overall.
We'll never get to come back. We get.
So. Let's bring it back to your taking over the family business and how has it changed from your parents' style to you now being the on-site CEO?
Yeah, before we even get into that, because I want to make it a little bit clear, just like from my perspective as the husband, because I think it would be easy for people to kind of say, oh, she's so lucky. She already had a business already there and she just took it over and stuff like that, right? But I think it was almost like, this is just from from her being her partner, it was almost like she had to create a new business, even though there was one existing, because there was transitions that were happening that her mother, that was the reason why she wanted to get out, because they were trying to put regulations on everything that her mother just couldn't handle. You know what I mean? Because it was
didn't want to handle. Didn't want to handle
because it was extra stress. You gotta you have to like learn a whole new process. You have to make new connections. You have to you have to learn how to use the computer.
So the business was being regulated by the government then.
Yeah. So it was like
it was always at that point. My mom had been regulated very carefully, but the added oversight and regulation that was coming in was just too burdensome. And my mom at that point, and a lot of people in her generation just said, no, you know what? I've worked 30 years in this gig, and I'm not going to learn another set of policies, another set of of a computer and all this other stuff. And she transitioned her way out at the right time. So we did have to start again. It wasn't like starting in, we still had residents there, but
they had the actual property and the former clients or the clients that my mother-in-law had. So that, I would say that's the main thing that they had.
But then all of the the systems, the processes, all of that had to, those had to be, it's still care, but paperwork wise, it was completely different. We had to,
all the logistics is different.
It was different.
So sometimes people wonder, like, how, they might question, like my mother-in-law, and ask her, like, how come you didn't do the things that Wendy's doing now? And it was just, man, that was a different time. The things that my mother-in-law went through were built on certain relationships that no longer existed because of the new changes. So sorry,
no, that's exactly it. Yeah.
because she's going to be humble about it, but I just want to express it a little bit because I know it's easy for people to just think that, oh, Wendy's just taking over her mom's business and that's it. But it's not like that, you know?
Yeah, we had to really build up a whole, I had to re-network with everything. All the departments
Completely
changed. All of the ways that you get new clients changed. All the ways that you documented things changed. Everything pretty much has changed. Even from the time when I took it over, we've revamped. We've had to redo things as new developments come in, new changes come in, new policies, new everything comes in. We have to change up again. Same care, but the format of how you present that has changed. So yeah, I mean, it's different. It's a lot of work. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do a lot of work, but you know, we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't care. So, you know, we're still here. And it is a privilege. It is an absolute privilege to be working with people that, or knowing that you are having a direct impact in someone's life. You know, that is, you know, that's what keeps us still doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly.
Nice. Sorry, I don't know what I missed there.
Okay.
But did we talk about the dialogue yet, or not yet?
No.
Oh, we haven't. We were talking about the kind of like the change between the changing of the guard between the mom and the daughter in terms of like Wendy.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So my wife taking over the business, and
right.
You know, and what was that process like? Because I think a lot of folks, you know, who want to run a business, kind of, you know, we talked about taking certain risks. Well, even taking over your mom's business is a risk.
It's even more of a risk because you know it's a business that's been successful. You're coming in, and if it's on you not to F it up. Basically, at least if you started your own, you could say, oh, you know, I tried it and it didn't work, you know. It's never been done before. Oh no, she's had it for 30 years, you know, what could possibly go wrong, you know? And then you come in and there's that extra pressure that you really can't mess this up. Really can't mess this up if you want to create any kind of legacy for your kids or your family. But I didn't let any of that hold us back. We just kept going, you know. We just take each thing at a time. I mean, a lot of the skills that I learned in law was transferable into the stuff that, you know, into the policies that we have to develop here. So a lot of it was very transferable.
And did we clearly mention that you're a care home manager, right?
Oh, so I manage.
We didn't mention that.
I manage a care home for people with mental health. So some of my clients most of them have schizophrenia, have lived with schizophrenia most of their adult life. Dementia. Now that they're getting older, they have onset of dementia. I have some clients with dementia. So yeah, it's a whole mixed bag. And I'm not a nursing home, so we don't do any nursing care. It's residential, so it's the part before they get to needing the nursing intervention. So we just support them with their daily activities, their daily lives, because they can't live on their own.
Right. Still pretty challenging though.
Oh yeah.